this thing is going to start to come out. In fact, let's flip that over here. Stephen, that is starting to rotate right in through here. Can you flip that over a little bit? Yeah, right. You see that right in through here? Folks, take some tornado precautions right here. We want you to take this like a tornado warning. Indian Meadows, Park Hill southward, Keys. The potential here for winds that are causing some damage. Right here, tornado warning is just now issued. Tornado warning is underway. So we're now on the air with a tornado warning from Indian Meadows south to Park Hill that is going to include part of the Tahlequah vicinity right now. So if you're just now joining us, and if you've been watching on the stream, you know we've been tracking this thing here. We've got a tornado warning that goes until 5:45 for the Cherokee County area. Already we think we've had some damaging wind potential with this storm, and it's now wrapping up in here. You can see those different areas of color that are coming together here. So let's kind of zoom in and take a look at that, Stephen. So here's the area of rotation. We want you to take your tornado precautions right now. We're in the Indian Meadows vicinity southward, State Highway 82, right along Indian Meadows, then over to Welling and Horseshoe Bend. This is moving east pretty fast, so tornado precautions underway near Tahlequah southward, near the Tahlequah southward area here with this tornado warning. So we've been tracking this storm on the YouTube channel at newson6.com. Got a little stronger. We got on television here. And then now we have the tornado warning that's underway. So this is near Tahlequah, actually 5 miles south of Tahlequah, moving to the east-southeast at about 40 miles per hour. And technically, this is going to be for part of Cherokee County and also a chunk of southwestern Adair County. This is going to be a tornado warning that goes until 5:45. So here's Tahlequah itself. Now, the center of circulation, I want to be clear here, that circulation is just a little bit south of Tahlequah proper. But you know how those cities, spread out a little bit. So even in the southern areas of Tahlequah, we could have wind damage that's already happened. So from Indian Meadows to Park Hill southward, that is the circulation. Boy, you can see this did not take long for this thing to wrap up here. Stephen, if you could pull that box over just a hair, just to make sure that everybody's seeing that. And Stephen, give us an update, an estimated time of arrival here. He is tracking that hook, that area of rotation. Stephen, go ahead. Tornado warning now for the Cherokee County area and also part of Adair County until 5:45.
Yeah, and this could produce a tornado at any time. Park Hill right now. So again, I know this happened very quickly as the line of storms got into Tahlequah and Cherokee County, but Park Hill right now, you need to be taking your tornado precautions as that surges to the south and east very quickly at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. So time is 5:20 Welling to 5:24 Tenkiller, the community Tenkiller at 5:28. Again, this will be on the north end of Lake Tenkiller. And then Titanic by 5:34, Rocky Mountain at 5:34, Stony Point by 5:39. So again, this is a fast, rapid movement here as that surges to the south and east at about, or east-southeast, excuse me, at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. But again, right over Park Hill right now going into Welling and Horseshoe Bend. I'll go back to the velocities here so you can see where it is. That was a quick track, but there it is right now. Again, if there's not a tornado, it's very, very close to producing one. So you need to take your tornado precautions. And even if there wasn't one, damaging 70-mile-an-hour winds are certainly a strong possibility.
Yeah, we think we've already had damaging winds with this storm. I think we've already had damaging winds with this storm. So from near Tahlequah to the south, we may still have, this could be a tornado that could be on the ground here. We want you to remain aware around the Keys area, Park Hill, Welling, Tahlequah, right in through here, continuing to push eastward. Carter's Landing. So this is a tornado warning, all right? Take your tornado precautions right now. Tell Hope you need to be in your shelter. You need to be away from walls and windows, interior-most region. This is moving rapidly east, kind of diving a little bit to the south and east at about 40 miles an hour. The potential, again, that this is could have already caused some wind damage. This may be a tornado on the ground. It's, dark 30. It's exceptionally difficult to see this thing. Don't wait to try to see it. If you're looking out your door here around the Tahlequah vicinity, technically part of Tahlequah is included in the tornado polygon area, but this is the center of the circulation. It's just a little bit south of the downtown area, but if you reside in the southern areas of Tahlequah, you need to be on your shelter there. And from Welling southward to Horseshoe Bend, Carter's Landing, again, Park Hill, West Highway 810 Road, we think we've already had damage in this area just from a wind production standpoint of when it was starting to kind of wrap up here. So it wrapped up fast, And now we've got what we think is maybe some damaging wind that's happening with the tornado here. So tornado potential here that continues, moving generally to, we think here, the east-southeast. Stephen, if you want to, again, we've been kind of looking at this off air, but we do see occasionally this is a signal that debris is being lofted into the air. Sometimes these debris signatures get a little noisy, but it does kind of co-locate with where a lot of that circulation feature is going on. So we think we've already had some damage near Park Hill, near Indian Meadows, south to Keys. I mean, this is a fast spin up, and now we are going to do the confirmed tornado because of that debris signature from our friends at the National Weather Service as well. So this is going to be called a confirmed tornado. Horseshoe Bend area, Boy Scout Bluff, take tornado precautions right now. Here's Tail Hote, 10 killer. This area is going to go over to Rocky Mount early in the morning here, 5:23, tornado warning that is underway. So that is where a lot of the shear is located. That's where some very strong damaging winds are underway. So from Welling south to Horseshoe Bend, take your tornado precautions. This we think has already kind of produced potentially a tornado. We think it's already produced damaging winds as it was trying to wrap up there right before it really started to crank out that tornado, 70-mile-per-hour winds. So we may start to get some reports around Tahlequah to Park Hill to Keys that we had some damage. So let's flip that thing over, Stephen. Take a look at the velocity data on it and kind of zoom it out just a hair so folks can kind of see where it's at, and put that in motion, if you will, just to show folks where it's going here. This is going generally to the east, but it may drop a little south and east. You can kind of see this generalized rotation area around the Telhoit area, Carter's Landing, and Barber. So take your tornado precautions. That's going to go into places like Rocky Mountain. Here's Bunch. Here's the Lions area. Here's Stillwell. Stillwell right now is included in this tornado warning polygon, so is Fairfield and Stony Point. So again, that is in the Cherokee County area and moving into portions of the Adair vicinity, so southwestern Adair County. So tornado, again, our friends at the Weather Service are going to call this a confirmed tornado, was near the Cherokee Landing State Park moving east at 55. So that is the potential. There's other storms that we're continuing to track that are severe. That entire line is severe, but this is the notch that we have right now that has that tornado warning that is underway. This is a very, very fast spin up. Stephen and Chloe were online digitally tracking this thing. We got close to 70-mile-per-hour winds, and we were coming online television with 70-mile-per-hour winds, and that thing wrapped up very fast. And it's producing what we think has already produced possibly a damaging tornado, or at least wind damage in some spots. That entire line of storm activity is severe. We'll show you that in just a second, but this is the track of this storm. That is this tornado warned storm. You can see the rotation that is right in this general area from Barber to Carter's Landing now, in this general area dropping to the east-southeast at about 35 to near 40 miles per hour. So Lions at 5:35. You got 10 minutes right now before that center of circulation is near your area. England at 5:37. The Zion area at 5:39. Bell at 5:44. I mean, dark 30 again. We're tracking tornado warnings. We did it yesterday, and we're doing it again early this morning in a couple of spots. So, yeah, we think just near and south of Indian Meadows, it caused some damage there, at least from a wind perspective and the tornado's perspective. So you see that red flashing polygon area. That is considered a confirmed tornado, at least at this point, from a debris signature on that radar as it continues to drop to the east-southeast. Stephen, give us another update as we see that now getting ready to possibly move right into the Telhoit area. Go ahead.
I just wanted to show you the loop on reflectivity. We usually show that to show you the rain, but at times when a tornado wraps up like this, you can almost see it in the reflectivity. Watch this loop over the last 15 minutes as this just went on the south side of Tahlequah, just right in here as it went through Park Hill and Indian Meadows. You can just see that right there is where a likely tornado spun up. Now we'll continue to see how much longer it may or may not be on the ground, but for now, still confirmed tornado, Tailhoit area. You need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. Rocky Mountain, Stone Point, same deal, and Stony Point, excuse me. me, and that all the way over towards Stillwell in about the next 10 minutes. You need to be taking your tornado precautions. I don't want to leave the storm. I just want to also go down to the south really, really quickly and show you that there's another one that Ron Morton is following, and we've got him keeping a close eye on this one on I-40 between Webbers Falls and Carlisle and Vianna. I know you all do not want another one of these storms after what you had yesterday morning, but the wind velocity is picked up here, and to be honest, there's a little bit of rotation as well. Just on the south side of Webbers Falls, that's going to start dropping south of I-40, unfortunately, pretty quickly. But again, Ron's doing his best to stay out ahead of that storm as it is now. That's also pretty strong along I-40. We'll check in with Ron on that in just a second. I just wanted to point that out. We're keeping a close eye on that one, but we've also we can't take our eyes off of what is still a confirmed tornado warning in eastern Cherokee County, about to cross the line into Adair County towards Rocky Mountain, again over Tailholt right now, still confirmed tornado warning.
Yeah, right in through here, you see that spin in the atmosphere, and that's the shear product. Lots of wind. We think we've already had at least some wind damage with this. If it wasn't in the southern part of Tahlequah, it was pretty close. Maybe Indian Meadows, Park Hill, back down to Carter's Landing, Horseshoe Bend, and we're seeing signals in some of the radar data that indicates that debris has been lofted into the atmosphere. So we're still going to consider this a tornado that is on the ground. We want you to take tornado precautions right now. Rocky Mountain, Stony Point, it's about to move from Cherokee County, crossing over into the Adair County vicinity. It's moving east, slightly southeast at about 40 miles per hour. So you see those different shades of green and red where they all come together. That is where the rotation signature is still underway, and it was much tighter, a little bit more back to the west just briefly there, but it's still considered to be a tornado that is on the ground. And again, it could be a loft, it could have been lofting debris. You see that little signature right there? Look how fast that thing flared up there with 70-mile-per-hour winds, and then it started to rotate and just kicked into the tornado mode. So tornado warning continues now. It's about to move out of Cherokee County. So here's Tahlequah, and here's the storm itself that we're watching that rotation. So that's right on the county line now, moving eastward. Up next, Blanche, Stillwell, Fairfield, back to Cherry Tree, Greasy, and Bunch. So that is the line from a tornado standpoint. Now, we're not leaving you here in Telhoit. We're not leaving you at Blanche and Stillwell, but we've got another storm that has some rotation on it. Let's zoom this thing out here a little bit, Stephen. Zoom it out. This is a strong line of storms that is considered severe all along the line, but we're watching this area as well because we do have just a little bit of a notch here around the Webbers Falls and Gore area, and there's Carlisle. You guys had a tornado warning yesterday morning. That is a severe storm with the potential for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Stephen, highlight where that little notch is that we're watching there as well between Webbers Falls and Gore southward to Carlisle. And Ron Morton is there in Carlisle. Ron, give us a quick, maybe a 10, 15-second update if you see anything before we head back to Telhoit. Go ahead.
Yes, Alan, I was right on, I just crossed the Arkansas River Bridge, and there was a lowering back to the south side of I-40. On the south side of I-40, moving southeast. I'm going to try to move just east of Vianna and see if I can see it back to the southwest. Back to you, Alan.
Okay, so we've got eyes on that storm. All right, that is a severe thunderstorm warning. That is near the Vianna area in Carlisle. It does have a little notch there. We're watching to see if that one's going to try to wrap up as well. But right now that is not. So some 70-mile-per-hour winds that are underway here. Now back to the north. This is an extension of that tornado warning. It's now crossed from Cherokee County into the Adair County area, and it's going to be right in through here. That circulation is not quite as robust as it was just a couple of minutes ago when, it spun up quickly near and south of Tahlequah. But it continues to have a tornado warning on it, and it's going to be moving to the east. Also, Stephen, notice again, this polygon that's going to the east now is not that flashing red polygon. So explain to folks the importance of that as we're tracking that storm that is tornado warned.
That's, just what I was going to say is that the difference here, this is still a tornado warning, okay? That hasn't changed as this goes into Adair County, but it's no longer a confirmed tornado as that signature has decreased a little bit. So it's not 100% confirmation that the tornado is still on the ground, but still every bit of precaution needed. That's why it's not that flashing polygon. But again, like I said, it's a tornado warning either way. That means you need to take tornado precautions as this moves over Rocky Mountain right now. I zoomed it out so you can see the track here. This is moving very quickly. This this will powerhouse through Adair County over about the next 10 to 20 minutes. That takes it to Lyons at 5:37. Time right now is 5:31, coming up from 5:32. So Stony Point 5:36. So Stony Point, take your tornado precautions. Stillwell, take your tornado precautions all the way to Blanche and all the way up towards Fairfield. By 5:40, if not before then, this will be reaching Stillwell and those surrounding communities. And then by 5:50, it's already heading towards the state line. So it won't last long, but pretty much anywhere through kind of the middle of Adair County, from Stony Point to Blanche to England, Stillwell, Fairfield, Salem, Piney, Bell, all those areas. Go ahead and take your tornado precautions right now. This is moving through so quickly that if you don't take those precautions now, you may not have a whole lot of time to do so. Again, still, it's not 100% confirmed that the tornado is still on the ground, as the rotation has technically weakened a little bit, but it's still very strong right over Rocky Mountain, heading into Stillwell.
Yeah, and Stephen, that's some strong winds right now. That pixel query right there, just a little bit southwest of Rocky Mountain. So again, really strong winds, 80, 85 mile per hour winds in spots. Again, this is the area of the rotation that we're still watching. Could be causing damaging wind. We think it did cause some damage from a tornado radar perspective as it was near the southern part of Tahlequah, maybe south to near Park Hill and some of those areas. It just rapidly went to 70 mile per hour winds and then flipped over and started to rotate quickly. So this is now continuing to move to the east-southeast. And you can see that's the shear product, which is basically showing some differences of wind and direction here, lower part of the atmosphere. And where we see those greens and reds, I mean, that's an indication of some strong shear. And that rotation has started right in through here, just a hair south of Tahlequah to Indian Meadows. So the part of the radar that throws up the debris signatures was very close to Indian Meadows. And some of that was just 70 mile per hour winds before it really started to rotate, but then fast moving into this direction. All of that to say, tornado warning still continues. Folks in Stillwell, you need to be in tornado shelter right now. Blanche, same thing. Fairfield, you're watching this morning, dark 30 here. We've got a tornado warning moving into your area. Lyons, tornado warning that is going to be moving in. So this is now a tornado warning for portions of basically kind of the southern and southwestern central part of Adair County. This is moving to the east now between 50 and 55 miles per hour. So it's going to be in Stillwell in a matter of minutes. You need to take your tornado precautions. We think this has already caused some damage early this morning with a storm that produced some tornadic activity. If not in southern Tahlequah, it was pretty close to that. Back to the Park Hill area southward. So tornado warnings now continuing, and we're going to track this. You see how fast this is going to go? I mean, just in the next couple of minutes, that's moving into Stillwell. It'll continue on to Evansville at about 5:46. It'll cross over into the state line area of Arkansas right after that. We're not leaving you, Stillwell, all right? We're coming right back to you, but I need to take you down to the south because we have another significant severe storm that occasionally has been showing that it's trying to have these little notches along this as well that might end up, triggering a tornado warning. Right now, that's not the case, but some 60 and 70 mile per hour winds, and this is going to be right in through here between Vian and Carlisle, and also a little bit to the northwest of the Garland area, and here's McKee and Robert S. Kerr Reservoir vicinity. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Sallisaw, Harrison, Sadie, Robert S. Kerr Reservoir. It's moving east-southeast at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. The potential for 60 and 70 mile per hour winds. Ron Morton is ahead of that. We're going to be going to him in just a minute. We're watching again to see if we get these little spin-up notches on the leading edge of that. Back to the tornado warning. Stillwell, you got a matter of maybe less than 2 to 3 minutes that you need to be in your shelter before this potential tornado pushes in. We think it was a tornado on the ground earlier. It may not be right now. Regardless, take your tornado precautions here as that circulation is now just a mile or two west of the Stillwell area, moving to the east pretty rapidly here. So we want you to take your tornado precautions. If you're watching in the western areas of Cherokee County, now you were obviously under that tornado warning. You are no longer under the tornado warning. Even though that polygon is still flashing near Tahlequah southward, the circulation is now out of the county. It is right in through here, all right? So that's what we're tracking, just so you know. But we still have strong severe storm potential moving to Westville and southward, but it's right in through here, right on kind of the apex of that portion of that storm line to where those winds, Stephen, are continuing to crank out here. So let's get another update on this. This is from Lyons to Cherry Tree to Blanche. It's now right. If it's not in Stillwell yet, it will be soon. Another update, sir, on the timeline.
Yeah, I'll just zoom in to show you again that like that Gowan said, it's Stillwell. You need to be taking shelter right now. Hopefully you already have been, but this is moving so fast that, I mean, the next radar scan, it will be right over town. That, you know, with how quickly these storms are moving, sometimes the radar data is even, you know, like a minute or two behind just because of how fast it's moving. So Stillwell, you need to be taking shelter right now. Same deal for Blanche, Zion, Fairfield, even down to Cherry Tree. Cherry Tree, you're just on the, you know, it's just to your north, but I would take your precautions. Again, Branch, Zion, Stillwell, Fairfield, all the way out towards Salem. This will move in and move out really quickly. If there's any good news here is, boy, it won't last more than a minute or two, but that's all it could take for some damage to occur. I'll try to draw a really quick track on this as this powers through Adair County, through Stillwell right now. And actually, I'm going to speed up the speed on this really quickly because it's moving closer to 50 to 55 miles per hour. Into Stillwell and Zion and Fairfield, all those areas, again, basically right now. You know, within a minute or two, but that means you need to take your shelter immediately. Bell by 5:46. Davidson, which actually is across the state line, at 5:51. So it's 5:37. That tells you, you know, we get about another 10 or 15 minutes down the line. This will cross the line into Arkansas. So it won't last long, but Adair County, from anywhere from Blanche and Zion, Stillwell to the east, you need to be in your tornado shelters right now. Even if, like we've been saying, even if the tornado is not still on the ground, there's a chance the tornado may not be on the ground anymore. But even if it's not, damaging winds of 70 miles per hour are still, would appear to be a pretty good bet. Again, there's the latest scan as this comes right into Stillwell right now. Rotation still continuing. Coming into Stillwell right now, so take your tornado precautions.
Tornado warning. Tornado warning, Stillwell. You got to be in your storm shelter. If you're on the west side of town, it's on top of you right now. If you're on the east side of town, you got a minute or two before it gets there. Here's Fairfield. Let's kind of zoom in and take a look at some of those streets here. This 51, 820 Road 51, 810 Road, right back down to the highway on 59 southward, 1st Street, Blanche Road, Locust, again, right in through here, Blackjack Street. You need to be in a tornado precaution shelter area right now, away from walls and windows, interior most room. If you have a storm shelter, obviously that's where you need to be. So now Stillwell, the circulation's on top of you. Again, this has produced, we think, a tornado on the ground earlier. Is it doing it right now? It's hard to say from a velocity standpoint and a debris standpoint. Take it as it's a tornado on the ground, moving eastward. Let's push it to the east here, Stephen, and take a look. The new polygon, let's go out to the east. So this is the old flashing polygon that was associated for the original issuance. This is the new tornado polygon, and notice it's not flashing at this point. We're not going to get too caught up in all the differences here, but tornado warning continues for Bell, the Evansville area, and Dutch Mills. If you have friends and neighbors that reside in this area east of Stillwell, give them a holler on the phone, wake them up. I mean, it's dark 30. Sometimes folks are not paying attention to the weather. This is a significant storm that rapidly developed. About 20 minutes ago, maybe, produced a batch of 70-mile-per-hour winds very fast in southern Tahlequah, back down to Indian Hill, Park Hills, and then just kind of flipped over and rotated and cranked out that tornado. We think that did cause some damage there. We're trying to get information from that area to see if we do have confirmation, any kind of significant damage, but we do think that we had debris that was lofted into the atmosphere. So it's on top of Stillwell right now. Tornado warning continues in the Stillwell area. This does not include any longer Cherokee County. Does not include Tahlequah. Tahlequah, you're not in a tornado warning any longer. The Park Hill area, you're not in a tornado warning any longer. Pettit, 10 Killer, you're not in the tornado warning any longer. But the areas of Stillwell eastward, Adair County, you are under a tornado warning. It's going to cross the state line area pretty fast. I like that view that you've got on Links 1 right now, Stephen. We'll be able to pop that up on Links 1. And let me show this kind of broader area. So we do have severe storms. I do want to point this out. I know we're focused on the tornado, and obviously rightly so, but this entire line now is considered severe. So from near and east of Lake 10 Killer to the Vian area, Robert S. Kerr Reservoir, the potential here for some 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's moving to the east-southeast at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. We're continuing to watch this area, which is near the Vian vicinity, but we've had a little notch occasionally that kind of showed up there that might be trying to flip over. We're also watching these storms across the southern areas, McIntosh County south to Crowder, back into the northern areas of Pittsburg County. So far, these are below severe levels, If there's any warnings issued there, we're going to go to them and let you know. But let's go back up to the storm. Muskogee, you're no longer included in a severe thunderstorm warning. This is a tornado warning that is continuing now near Stillwell, Oklahoma. This has been a tornado on the ground, we think, Stephen, as it was just a hair south of Tahlequah, maybe even in the southern Tahlequah areas itself, back down to Park Hill. It was lofting debris into the atmosphere. But now the circulation is over Stillwell, West Locust Street, back down. This is going to be State Highway 51, Fairfield. You need to be in your tornado precautions, your shelters here, right along County Road 830 here. So if you're recognizing these roads, State Highway 100, anywhere in here, you got to take tornado precautions immediately here. This obviously, when it's dark 30 early in the morning, 5:42 in the morning, it can catch a lot of folks, off guard if you don't have your phone set up, your no-weather radios. But the potential here for some damaging winds, tornado warning is underway. Stephen, let's get another track on that. You might have to zoom it out just slightly and show the track, because this will quickly move out of the Stillwell area and move eastward into those regions there right across the state line area. Go ahead.
Yeah, so again, Stillwell, still stay in your shelters. It's about to exit town here. You just saw that latest radar scan update. This is moving so quickly that, every couple minutes when the radar scan updates, you see it jump forward pretty fast just because of how fast this is moving east at 55 to near 60 miles per hour. So the storm is moving pretty much at highway speed. So that tells you how quickly it will move in and move out, but that can lead to damage happening really quickly, kind of in a heartbeat. So Stillwell, still stay in your shelters. It'll be east of town here in the next couple of minutes. Salem, that will be into your community momentarily. So I just want to show you the track where it's going into northwest Arkansas, but here's where that is. Salem, and then all those communities from Fairfield, you still need to be in your shelters. To Salem, Bell is just to the south as well. Basically anywhere just due east of Stillwell, you need to stay in your tornado shelters for the next 5 to 10 minutes until this storm rapidly moves through, and then after about 5:50, it'll be crossing the state line into Arkansas. But again, pretty much in eastern Adair County, anywhere east of Stillwell, you need to remain in your tornado shelters right now. If tornado can still develop at any time, even if there isn't one, damaging 70-mile-an-hour winds are still a strong possibility with this storm.
Yeah, we're going to have new warnings that will be issued southward near the southern areas. Now, these will not be tornado warnings, but they're going to be severe thunderstorm warnings. We're going to take you there in just a second, but this circulation is still very strong, and it's right over the city of Stillwell. So, folks in Stillwell, you should have already been in your tornado shelters here, and it's now moving eastward. The good news, it's going to be out of your area pretty fast here, but the circulation is still with us. Not quite as tight as it has been earlier, when we could see that it was flipping those debris signatures into the air near the southern areas of the city of Tahlequah back down to Park Hill. Now, some of that may have been also just 70-mile-per-hour winds, because part of that storm was just cranking out wind right before it started to wrap up. But regardless, we know that we think we've had some damage, if not in southern Tahlequah, then just to the south. Near Park Hill and some of those areas now down to the park. But this is now over Stillwell. Here's actually Stillwell now, just a hair to the west, and this is the circulation feature that is slightly east of the downtown area, from State Highway 51 to State Highway 100. Between 51 and 100, East Road 850, and you're going to take your precautions here. This is still a circulation that could be throwing some debris in the atmosphere, and a tornado warning continues. This is going to be for the Adair County vicinity, and it will quickly, we think in the next 10 to 15 minutes, cross the state line region, and it'll be out of your hair there, thankfully. But it'll move on into Arkansas. So this warning, tornado warning, goes until 6:15 this morning for that storm. There's additional thunderstorms that are developing on the lines around the McIntosh County area and also Pittsburg County that are severe. We're not ignoring those, but obviously this is of a concern right now with this tornado circulation that is still underway. We are going to go back down to the Pittsburg County area and also into McIntosh County in just a second here. But that circulation, tornado circulation, again, just a hair east of the city of Stillwell right now, but still from Piney Road southward, State Highway 51 back down to 100. If you're just now flipping on the television, maybe you're joining our stream, newson6.com or our News on 6 YouTube page. Again, tornado warning across Adair County. Here's the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line area. So that is now pretty close to that. In the next minute and a half to 2 minutes, we think that circulation will be crossing from Oklahoma into Arkansas. And you can see that tornado warning does continue, obviously, for our friends and neighbors in the Arkansas area. So this is right on the state line. This is not including Tulsa. Muskogee's not included in this. Tahlequah, you were originally included in that tornado warning because it developed very fast near Tahlequah southward. It's now, again, continue. You can kind of see that reflectivity hook right in through here, moving quickly to the east-southeast, 45 to near 50 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and drive down south at this point now. Let's drive down south and take a look because we have other strong, severe storms that need some attention here, the southern areas. Let's go down to the south. Let's check out, first of all, here's Ron Morton's severe storms, Robert S. Kerr Reservoir in between Carlisle and Vian in the Sallisaw area. Flip that radar to velocity very quickly, Stephen. We're watching maybe for these little interactions so far. They're not wrapping up too much, but the potential here for some 60, 65 mile per hour wind. It's about to move into the Sallisaw area. Ron Morton is ahead of that storm. Ron, give us an update, sir. Go ahead, please. Ron Morton, just a hair west of Sallisaw.
Yes, Alan.
Go ahead.
I'm about a mile west of Sallisaw. I'm looking back into that area of kind of just a little small appendage there. As you can see in my shot, of course, you can only pick it up when the lightning strikes, but there is an area there's a bold area there. There's no tornado, no funnel at this time, but there is a bold area there that there is some rotation there. It's been kind of up and down ever since it came from Gore over here to Sallisaw. So I'm going to stay ahead of it and see what it does. Back to you, Alan.
Okay, yeah, we appreciate it, Ron. And again, that is, as he mentioned, this is not a tornado warning where he's located near the Sallisaw area to Vian, but it's got a little notch or two there that we're continuing to watch it. So that storm's moving to the east at 35, winds near 60 to 65 miles per hour. So part of that area will be included in a severe thunderstorm warning. There's lots of information on the screen. So he's watching right in through here between Harrison and East 1080 Road. Again, not a tornado warning, but it is got a little notch, and he's seen somewhat of a lowering here, so we'll keep you posted as it gets closer to Sallisaw. Go back up to the tornado warning now. It should be into Arkansas. If not, it's close to it. So it's now past the city of Stillwell. The circulation is right on the state line region between Evansville to south of Dutch Mills to Piney. So, folks, State Highway 51 right in through here, south to 100. Right on the Arkansas state line area. That tornado circulation continues. It is now to the east of the Stillwell proper area. So it's now east of the city of Stillwell by a couple of miles here. It's now on the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line area to Vineyard Road. You're next. Dutch Mills Road. You're next. That's in Arkansas. State Highway 51. That is where that circulation continues on. This is a tornado warning for now the far eastern areas of Adair County that's going to be moving into the state of Arkansas. It'll move right in this general region, and the potential still for a tornado that could be doing some damage. We think this storm did do some damage in some form or fashion, possibly in southern sections of the city of Tahlequah, back to near Park Hill, some of those areas, and we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. But now there's the outline of that storm. It continues to track. It's right on the state line. Still technically a tornado warning for that area. So we want you to remain aware, but it's about to cross over into the state line regions. That circulation is no longer in the city of Stillwell. That circulation now is to the east. And so here's Stillwell back to the west. Here's State Highway 51. So it's continuing to track right on the state line region. Let's go back now, Stephen, all the way into the Pittsburg County area, because we now have severe storms that are starting to flare up in the southern areas, and it's going to be additional severe storm warnings because this is an area that's not been worked over so far this morning. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings for part of McIntosh County, also the Pittsburg County area, several kind of clusters of storms that are starting to show up here. From Lake Eufaula area southward to Hanna, and again, you can see these are kind of pushing to the north and now moving eastward. And so this is kind of free flow south winds moving in here to McAlester and Alderson and Bug Tussle. There's quite a bit of convective and potential energy here from Scipio to Ulen and right down the Indianapolis Turnpike. So this has the potential for some 60 miles per hour wind. Do want to tell you again, if you're watching early this morning, we have a tornado watch that's underway, which means conditions are favorable for tornadic activity. We've got some strong winds that are trying to develop near Scipio, back to the west-southwest at 55 to near 65 miles per hour. So we're watching that interaction near the Scipio area with those storms. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. This will include the city of McAlester. Now we're looking at some of those areas around Scipio. There's McAlester right in the middle of the screen. Crowder and the Eufaula area. This severe thunderstorm warning does include the city of Hartshorn and Haleyville and Savannah, and that warning goes until 6:30. Right now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Back to the tornado warning, Stephen. Give us an update on that if you can. Again, this is the storm that we think caused some damage in part of the Cherokee County area. It could have been a tornado on the ground from the standpoint of the data that we're seeing on the radar. What do you see right now as it's moving into Arkansas?
Yeah, still strong signs of rotation. Again, it's been the last, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes. It's been unclear if the tornado is still on the ground. It's been right on the borderline of could be, or maybe it has lifted. It's now crossing the state line. So again, to be clear, this is exiting Adair County into northwest Arkansas. Now, if you have family and friends out there, this is going to be a little southwest of Fayetteville, the Evansville vicinity, Dutch Mills. Again, this is across the state line. Just to point that out, the Morrow vicinity, Skylight, again, these are all just across the state line into northwest Arkansas. If you have family and friends out there, make sure they are aware if they weren't tracking this already. But again, that is now exiting Oklahoma, exiting Stillwell, exiting Adair County, now well to the east of Stillwell. So not that we're leaving it alone, but since that area of concern has now crossed the state line, we're going to kind of focus back to the south on these other storms that are moving through Sequoyah County and into much of Sequoyah County and also northeastern Haskell County, northern LaFleur County, areas that got hit pretty hard yesterday morning that I don't want any more of this. Again, there's no confirmed tornadoes down here right now. We don't have tornado warnings. I want to be clear about that. But this is an area that we're watching really closely, near and just south of Sallisaw. It's kind of a messy look in the velocity, but right here near and just south of Sallisaw, also down east of Garland, just north of Keota. There's just a couple little notches along that line that, we just have to keep a close eye on them because they can go from nothing to something within a few minutes. So, again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. I'll put the reflectivity on so you can see kind of the radar portion of this. From Keota all the way to Sallisaw, that's quickly moving to the east-southeast at about 50 miles per hour. And Ron Morton is right out ahead of that, has been keeping a pretty close eye on that storm. And if you want us to check in with, we'll go ahead and check in with Ron. Ron's south of Sallisaw. He's been watching that and has been seeing a kind of a clearly defined lowered area, no funnel, at least here recently. But again, Ron, another update. I know you're kind of between Sallisaw, just south of Sallisaw. That can be tough coverage areas, so signal may come in and out. But Ron, kind of what's the latest that you're seeing?
Yes, Stephen, I am staying a little bit south. I'm going south here on 59 Highway. I'm about 4 miles south of Sallisaw. I'm almost to the Robert S. Kerr. A lot of low-hanging clouds, a lot of areas that, I'm not going to say a lot of areas, that's a bad word, but at least a couple of areas of spin possibly. There's one just to the south of Sallisaw, and there's one back to the south of it, just north and northeast of Keota. So I'm going to keep an eye on those two areas and stay ahead of it and see what I can see. Back to you, Stephen.
Ron, thank you very much. So again, he's watching that closely, near and just south of Sallisaw into portions of southern Sequoyah County. So rain and gusty winds in Sallisaw right now, and then from Harrison to Sadie to Brent. Again, want to be clear, not a tornado warning, it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but we're just on that edge of having, strong winds if nothing else, but some areas where rotation it could develop at any time. So from south of Sallisaw down towards Brent and then down towards Gans. You want to be really prepared with this all the way down to Keota and eventually over into northern LaFleur County, from Haskell County, northern Haskell County into northern LaFleur County. I want you to be aware that is still some pretty intense activity that is moving to the south and east, east-southeast at a pretty rapid rate. And, I was about to take us back down to Pittsburg County, and this is why. We have a new tornado warning, Alan, in Pittsburg County, just north of McAlester. So, McAlester folks, we are going to update you on this right now. New tornado warning right now in Pittsburg County, and that is why. Oh, boy. So, McAlester, I know this is kind of quick, but McAlester folks, you need to start taking tornado precautions right now. Alan, right now. Tornado warning, Pittsburg County, coming into the north side of McAlester.
Yeah, tornado warning there. So, folks, again, this is going to get your attention. This is going to be in the Pittsburg County area, so we're on television live. Because of that, we're also streaming right now. It's going to be for part of central Pittsburg County. Those storms that we were looking at there near the Scipio area moving east at 60, and the potential for some rotation. Now, again, kind of a broad area here, but that's what we're watching. So here's the McAlester area, here's Miko, here's north of town, here's 113 and up through the Indianola vicinity and Reams and Crowder. There's also has been just a small area of rotation here, just a little bit east of Crowder that occasionally is trying to flare up, but we're watching this area here. So this is going to be right just a hair to the west of McAlester on 270 near the Haywood area, just north of 270 and State Highway 31. And there's the Lake Road, so the prison right in through here driving northward. And so you want to take your tornado precautions here. This is going to include the city of McAlester. So we do include folks here in the city of McAlester. It's going to be a tornado warning. Technically, this is going to include northwestern Latimer County as well, central Pittsburg County. It'll go until 6:45, and right now we're at 5:57. So thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado, kind of near Scipio to northeast of Haywood, moving to the east at about 60 miles an hour. It's a broad area of rotation, but this area has not been worked over at all. So we do want you to take your tornado precautions, Stephen, and this is going to be a broad track here. But let's kind of take it. It looks like it's going to be closer, maybe right in through here. But let's just go ahead and take that entire area. And you see that polygon? We want you to respect the polygon. And there's also another small area of rotation we're watching right in through here as well, near the Quinton vicinity. But this is going to be a fast track, and we'll put this on the side of the screen for you here. This is a tornado warning. This does include the city of McAlester northward. So this is going to be McAlester, 6 o'clock. You got a couple of minutes here for the western areas. Bug Tussle, which is north of town, at 6:08. Blocker at 6:16. The Blocker Bridge area that does include Crowder and near Crowder Point. Indianola on 113 north, that's under a severe thunderstorm warning, but right now the tornado polygon is just a little bit south of you. And then near and south of McAlester, that will be including the Frink Chambers vicinity southward to about Alderson. Technically, it's just not quite into the Savannah area, which is 5 miles south of McAlester. So you can see that rotation. It's right through here where you see the green and the red coming together. That is the area of rotation. It's moving across northern McAlester right now.